Welcome to Never Dull Moment. If you guys have been paying attention recently, I posted some videos, quick videos showing that my children had picked some knives to take home, and I wanted to send out with the sharp edge. And one of the things we were able to do is we were able to send the knives out where I was able to take paper towels, lay them on the edge of the knife, blow on the paper towel, and split the paper towel. Obviously, I posted the different progression that I did, and I just want to do one of the knives today to show you what's going on. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a pan of what we're going to be doing and any substitutes in case you don't have certain things. So I want to show you right off the bat that we're going to be doing a carbon steel knife. Two of the knives that went home were carbon steel with my children. One of the knives themselves was an R2 SG2 powdered steel. So this is going to be a super blue knife. You guys are used to seeing this on Whetstone War, so we're always happy to show that to you. I'm going to be starting off with the Morihei 500 grit to just start over on the knife. All the stones will be flattened as I'm using it with the Nanohone NL4 flattening stone. That's going to be able to make me get a nice slurry, make sure the stone is flat. The second stone that I'll be using is the Suehiro Debado. If you remember, I told you before that they get a little bit sticky, so you need to soak it for about 5 minutes. I already have it in the water. We're going to be going from the 1000 to the 4000 grit. It's a Suehiro brand, but technically it's made by Naniwa. So think of it as your Naniwa professional stone, even though it's sold under the Suehiro. Ryan Swanson likes to finish his knives that he does on stone at this stone, and that's as high as he goes. For me, what I did in the videos is I went to my Japanese natural stones. So we have the Maruoyama, which is around a 6000 grit. If you do not have a Japanese natural stone, you know, we do have over here the Suehiro. This is an 8000, the Sharpening 8000. You could use the Suehiro 6000 or a Sharpening 6000 if you had it. I actually, after the Morihei, I'll be going to the the Nakayama. Sorry, I mixed a blacksmith up with a quarry. So the Nakayama is a 10 to 12,000 grit. So you see my substitute would be the 10,000 grit Suehiro. And again, I would tell you to put that in water. I thought I had a 12,000 grit somewhere around here, but I could not find it. So if I were substituting this 6 to this 10 to 12, I would probably, I mean, you could go 8 to 10, or you could put the 6 and then the 8, then the 10, and then if you had something higher. I'm going to be finishing real fast on the nano cloth. This has 0.5 micron Gunny juice on the leather, but I actually have nano cloth with 0.5 micron as well. This has a little bit more give to really help pull away material. The diamond emulsion is soaked into the cloth, so as I press into it, it does help to pull away any material. For fun, I just have the Nanohone 3 micron diamond. If you do want to do the Shibata style, put like a nice rough edge on one side, you could do that. You could do one side of the knife. So a quick statement that was really just beat to death in the forums, you know, like, isn't using the strop on the knives after the Japanese stones defeat the purpose of the Japanese stones? There are plenty of people who get an edge that they want with the Japanese natural stones. I understand this, I get this, the edge is great. That is not how I achieved myself the results that you saw on 3 different knives where I blew the paper towel on the knife and split the paper towel. Finishing the knife on the Japanese natural stones gives it its own toothy edge. And if that is your goal, depending on the purpose of the knife, if you're definitely piercing tomato skin, grape skin, certain things, you might want the toothy edge. I was going for a refined edge. So I'm literally just using them as, because I like them. I like just my relationship with them. I like being involved with them. But I'm thinking of them more as my 6 to 8,000 and my 10 to 12,000. That's why I'm showing you the natural stone versus the synthetic substitute. So it doesn't take a long time to do this. The carbon steel does great. I know that the stones are flat, so I'm really thinking right now more of a slurry. And for all of you, yes, I'm using the water right now, and yes, I'll be using fresh water after, but I am making sure to get the slurry off of the flattener so it doesn't carry over. The majority of the work of sharpening should be done on this stone. Okay? The rest of the stones are polishing. Once I get an apex on the 500, I'm not really getting an apex on the 1000. I'm removing scratches from the 500. So another thing we've never talked about on the show. My wife has got a video right now of the angle of the knife. What you have maybe never noticed on the show is I slowly change my angle. I'm changing the direction of the scratch marks while grinding away and making the apex. I can still use the water because all of the water slurry is from the 500 grit. I've got a pretty good burr already. I'd like it to be a little bit more prominent to make me feel good because remember, the work is done here. The rest is refinement. For those of you asking about other manufacturers or why am I using these, I like these. I'm sorry. I like the Debado because it's really wide. I like the Morihei, the 500. It's not as coarse as the 400. If you're using Sharpening, they actually are rated not properly. So a 400 Sharpening is like a 300, Now, the last thing you're going to see me do, which is new for me, I never knew that Hap Stanley did this, and I saw him teach my wife, but I do these long pulls now. That is something I did on those 3 knives, and I think of it as kind of ripping away metal material. I've liked doing it. It's been a nice addition, and I was able to consistently get those edges on those 3 knives. So the angle of the knife is pointed a little bit more north, so to speak. You will see me over time change the angle. Right now the angle will be the same until I think that I've ground the knife. And another thing you're going to see me do that you're probably not used to. I am trying to make sure that the amount of time I spend on this stone is equivalent to the amount of time I spent on the other side. It's very easy to feel what you think is the burr flipping over and you have done your job, but you have not. You have flipped over a burr, but you have not ground away the apex. So we're still missing some burr up towards the top. So notice my angle has now changed. I would like it to be very prominent in this area. I like the tip of the knife to be equally as sharp as the heel of the knife. Do the whole job. Okay, those long strokes we talked about. Let's move our pressure point with our fingers. And again, we're kind of removing, and I'm going to go alternating. And at this point, the knife should be pretty sharp just on the 500. Okay, I've tried to even out the burr, and it feels amazing. Okay, so we're going to move this, and we're going to get this 1000. So you're thinking, what's going on with the 1000? I don't need to make a new apex. So let's not spend a whole lot of time. This has been my new philosophy. It worked very well on the last 3. This is about removing metal that is in those scratches on the side of where we have sharpened.
Okay, baby. Yeah.
So I'm polishing. Let's not worry about a new apex. My pressure has lightened up tremendously. The stone is doing the work. So I am kind of north again, and now I'm changing direction. I'm polishing the apex, and I'm still changing. I went from 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I'm almost at 9 o'clock. And you're thinking, Greg, would you be feeling for the apex? I mean, it's not impossible to not make one. Because think about it, like, I didn't try to remove it, so it might still be flipping back and forth, but I'm not pressing so hard that I'm trying to make a new one. So we're changing that 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock right now. I mean, yeah.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, y'all. Josie's close. She hears thunder.
In case you don't know, this Casfly stone holder does not do well with the base that's built in on the Suehiro. But the amount of pressure that I'm going to be using is minimum enough, mild enough that I really shouldn't be rocking this stone. I'm just thinking of it as those little scratch marks. The metal that was standing up in the grooves was all being flattened. The stone is hard enough to do the work. And with very little pressure, we're seeing material come off. I changed the angle again. Change the angle again. Now let's give it those long strokes. Change our finger placement for pressure. Okay. I will tell you, it's very weird for me to like not be trying to feel for a burr. I mean, it's just, part of it's like trust the process, you know. All right, the Japanese natural stone. It is different. Everybody wants to talk about it. It is not made of grit. It doesn't come in grit. It is made of flakes. It is natural, earth, rock, things pressed together, pressure, time. Every stone is different. Just because it comes from the Morihei mine doesn't mean you're always getting the same stone. This one's rated around 6,000 if you were to have a grit. We've got a nice slurry. It's a nice hard stone. It's not mega hard. Stone should last me a while. I like playing in the mud. So let's change the angle again. Let's change the angle again. Long strokes. Japanese natural stones a lot of times are used for finish. And if you're polishing a knife where the actual knife is laid down and it's polished completely along the entire main bevel, you will get a knife extremely sharp. Okay, I mean, I was just going for a different level of sharpness that doesn't necessarily have the teeth that a lot of times you can get from a natural stone. The goal of this progression is to get the results that I had. We got those long strokes. And it's muddy.
I need to change your angle of the bottle, babe. That's why the water's not coming out so well.
Everything I've done, polishing the edge from the 1000, 4000, Maruyama, Nakayama, everything is just been polishing the edge. I've not tried to get a new burr since the 500. Same amount of time. constantly refining these scratch marks. As my wife was quick to point out, the bottle was near the end of its water, so I needed to change the angle to clean it. Okay, obviously we do not strop on a wet knife. Technically, could you be done right now? Yes. Without stropping whatsoever, you could be done. So what are we doing? So we've got two options. We could just use the regular leather 0.5 micron. But it is very hard. I'm going to go with the Gunny juice. It has a little give. I'm pressing into the cloth. They're diamonds, so that the cloth itself has a little give. This is carbon steel. The hardness is above 61. When it is, you strop at the same angle as the sharpening. The goal is to remove any metal from the edge. How do you know when you're done? How does anybody ever know? You just feel like you've covered it. Well, I hope I did a good job. I mean, I have no way of knowing. These towels have been out here for a while. My wife will tell you my breath today isn't the best. I've had some breathing issues today.
Do you want to just hit timer so that that thing doesn't make an obnoxious sound? Thanks. Oh, yeah.
So blindly took a different knife, did the same thing I did the other three. We got the same exact results, proving that it really does work.
Okay, cutter.
Who doesn't like a knife that could cut a paper towel diagonally? My wife could have used this just a little while ago because we were doing some spaghetti squash.
Those were so much fun to cut.
Yeah, but you know, like the edge of the knife is able to cut the paper towel.
Repeatedly.
So wicked sharp. I mean, is there any arguing what just happened? You know, maybe in another video, I will shoot this same exact setup on the sister knife using the substitute synthetic stones. So what did we learn today that we never had before? I did some things differently than you've seen on this show before. The new Greg. Okay, I'm glad to share them with you because I could keep working, you know. I mean, I'm a sharpener first, you know, so let's get back to the roots. I'm a sharpener first. That's why you showed up. Showing you nice knives is a thing, but we all want to be better. I showed you some cool stuff. Put a better apex on the knife right off the bat. First stone, get it done, top to bottom. Apex, amazing. Your work is done. The apex is made. Remove the scratches, remove the metal. Can a knife this sharp cut through everything? Yes. I don't know what function you need. Yes, if you want a little teeth for fatty meat and stuff, but this is still gonna do it. I'm sorry. Tomato skin, you're gonna get it done. Watch your fingers and toes, ladies and gentlemen. Beware of, cutting atoms and stopping time and blowing up your neighborhood. So,
But we don't want you to do that.
yes, so we have now unlocked the keys.
Those were jokes.
So we gave you lighter pressure on the other sides. We didn't even feel for a burr. You didn't see it happen once. We got the burr on each side. We made sure the time on the second side was equivalent to the time on the first, top to bottom. Apex, done. Burr, done. We then removed. We were done feeling for burrs. We didn't try to remove it earlier and then polish. We just polished. 1,000, we kept going 4,000, 6,000, what I think is a 10 to 12,000. Okay? So you've now seen how sharp that can be with good carbon steel. You saw it me do it the other day with powdered steel. I haven't done it with the Magna Cut. We need to sharpen that, so I'll see if I can get that one that way too. I'm gonna also be using something like this to sharpen that Chinese cleaver that we got. I've liked using it because you can chop up stuff and scoop up the whole dang meal on top of that blade. It's kind of fun. So we're gonna get that working order. That was definitely not a dull moment. For those of you who had questions, I hope you answered them. I've answered a lot of them in the forum, so I hope this today answered those questions for you. More questions or comments, leave them. I'll definitely post the progression and its alternatives. We appreciate your comments. We know we haven't brought you a knife sharpening in a couple of months. Stay tuned, we're gonna bring you more. We thank you as always. See you Friday nights at 8. God bless.